Hi, it's Mindy from Time to Unwind, and I haven't done a class in a while, and I apologize for that. I would have liked to have gone back. In fact, I think I will. I would like to go back to where we left off. If you've seen 1 and 2, then you already know how to make a slip stitch. Let's review very quickly. My method, everyone has their own. Pull together a loop like yay, just cross it, grab it, stick your hook in and twist it a couple more times, then grab a loop and pull through. It helps if you grab the loop. You got a slip knot. Okay, and to chain, you go up. I'm going to do this backwards to most people so that you can actually see what I'm doing. You go up, you wrap it like yay. It helps a lot if you turn the hook down. Always hold it down below so that you've got tension and you've got that little teardrop sort of shape here. And you can pull it through that hole like that. Now, if you made that hole way too big, you can shrink it to the size you want. And if you made it too little, you can extend it. It goes up and down. You can fix your tension at any time like this. I tend to hold it like this and like this. Therefore, I have excellent control of my tension. Right-handed or left-handed, it's not a big deal. I have taught people who were right-handed, and there's a time in the class early on when I usually say to my class when they're in person, now switch hands and do it the other way. And I've had right-handers say, oh, I can do it more easily left-handed. And I say, that's fine. Just remember, if you're going to read somebody else's pattern, you're just going to go backwards. And most patterns you can do that. It's not a big deal. So, but always wrap it so that you start closest to you and come push around away from you, come up over the top, turn it down, and pull it through that teardrop. Now you can adjust your tension. Okay? Chain. I'm going to do a few chains here. We're just reviewing. Okay, never go into the one you just came right out of. Go into the next one. We're doing slip stitch. You just go through the next stitch, one that you don't have yarn coming out of, come up through, come back through the next one, through it, back through it, the next one, through it, back through it. Now you can go through 2 loops. For a lot of projects, you would go through 2 loops. It gives you a different look. It was many years before I realized you could go through 2 loops because I learned on a crochet pattern, and that's what I did. What I learned on, but I tore apart a crochet pattern where they were using back loop only. And so I crocheted back loop until a long time later after I learned how to read patterns, and wow, people are doing through 2 loops like that. And I have to say, through 1 loop only looked just fine, and by golly, it was easier to do and a lot faster. I want to show you, let me chain one away from here so I can get it away from there, the difference in appearance. Okay, through here I did back loop only, through here. This last one I did through both. You can see the difference. Here's this side. You can see the difference in that this one's tighter. This one's taller. So the thing about crochet and the thing about the way I teach crochet is that I like you to look at what you're doing. So we've got that little tiny teeny row. And now what we're going to do is go back. All right, we're already through that one. So we can go into, you can go into front, back, or both. Okay, so this one was a both. And so I'm going to go through both. It won't go as fast. Go through both. Bring up one, so you have two on the hook. Grab that and go through both, because now instead of slip stitching, we're single crocheting. One, through both. And one of the cool things you can do is try to figure out how many different ways you can make a single crochet. I just showed you that you could make it through one loop or go through both loops when slip stitching or single crocheting. And don't forget, when you get to the end of the row, go through that last one. However you do, we're doing it, one or both, go through that last one. Otherwise, you're going to lose stitches. Okay. So now you've gone through the top loops. I went through both. So this time, if you go through one, I'm going to go through the one closest to me. Now that would normally be called the front loop. And you can see that there's, this loop is still there. That's the farthest from me, so that would be the back loop. So we're going to go through just the front loop, the one closest to me, pull up the loop, wrap, and pull through two. Again, through the front loop, pull up, wrap, and go through two. Front loop, wrap, go through two. Front loop, wrap, go through two. Get through there. Now, are we at the end, or are we the one before the end? Wrap through two. Now, on the next one, if you want to, you can go through the back loop. And so to do that, you're going to turn it so that you can see the back loop. Wait a second, get it up high enough so you can see. So you're going to have to turn it so that it's enough away from you that you can actually, or enough toward you that you can actually see the back loop. And you're going to go down and through that back loop. Pull the stitch through, wrap and pull through both of them, and go through the next loop. I'm hoping you can see through my hands. Oops, I just did a slip stitch there. Make sure you go through that and have the two loops on your hook, and then go through those. Do that right across. I think I have about 5 or 6 stitches here I'm doing. I haven't even counted. I'm just doing them. And if I don't drive you nuts, I will drive me nuts. So through 2, down through, up through 2, down, wrap, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then get the end, which is a little harder a lot of times. Through 2, and now we're done. Chain 1 to turn the corner, which I haven't always said, but you do it. All right, so I've got back loop and front loop since I did them on opposite rows and turned between, you can't see anything. If I would have stuck with the same direction, you'd have seen them both. Now this time, we're going to do something different. I chained my one. I'm going to go down and I'm going to go around the post of the stitch. See how there's a post to the stitch? Well, let's do something else first. See this hole here? Okay, we've got the first stitch there. Let's go through the hole. Grab that and pull it up. Pull through two. Through the hole. Grab it and pull it up. Pull through two. Through the hole. Grab, pull it up. Pull through two. Through the hole. Grab, pull it up. Pull through two. Get this last one. Get through two stitches here. This last one can be hard. Through the hole, pull it up. And now we're going to chain one. I want you to look at the difference in how that one looks compared to this one. This is going through this hole here and going under both of those loops instead of going through back or front. Now this time we're going to extend that further, and instead of going through the hole here, we are going to actually take the crochet hook and go in beside the post of the hook of the stitch and out the other side, so that it looks like this facing you. This is called a front post single crochet. And just come through, grab the yarn, and pull it right through both of those around the post, then take your hook and pull it through. Now go around the post. Now, you will find people who go through here, and that's okay. You will find other people who go down below that. And it gives you a different look. And they are both usable. It just gives you a little different look. So when you're doing front post and back post, it will give you a different look. These are often used for decorative, and they're used for rib. And I'm going to do every other one up and every other one down and let you see how much of a difference even just that can make. Now the last one is a little harder to do, but you can do it. Okay, it's actually easier than getting through that little corner. Okay, now we're going to turn, and I want you to look at even just what going through the top, right around here, and going further down. I can't see from the back to show you, but going further down around the stitch, below that little top piece, and down around the base of the stitch, and how much difference even that little bit made. You can see how different it looks. So you want to keep playing. Now this time, instead of doing this, which, by the way, coming in from the back and going out, that's back post, because you came from the back. And like a complete dummy, I just called it front post. If you go in from the front and around, that's front post. And what happens when you do these, I'm going to do these all alike across here. I'm going to go down just a little lower on these ones. 3. Always count to make, if you're at all uncertain, you should always have the same number of stitches. Going around. Going to go in around. I gotta make sure I don't drop the computer. In, around, wrap. Not used to doing this with the thing away from me, actually, so I gotta turn around so I can pull through. Excuse me. Yeah, I better not do that. I think I just took it in the wrong direction. Yep, I went through the row below. We haven't got that far yet. Around, pull through, and then that end of the row stitch, go around it, pull up, pull through. Now look what I did right back there. I got loose. So I just want to pull that one out and shrink that stitch down just a little bit and go around. I'm doing it from, I think I was doing it like this. Okay, now I am going to tell you a little secret about how another way to look at it and see just what you're doing. Look here, right there, it looks like you've got a rib started, and if you wanted to use this sideways, you could. This is using your head, figuring out things, looking at things and figuring them out. But look at this line of crochet. This will really, this line of crochet, this will really show up on double crochet. It'll really be obvious. We'll get there in just a few minutes. But you can follow from that, you can tell whether it was a front post or a back post stitch. Okay, because, well, let me show you. Let's chain up 2, and now we're going to get fancy. With a single crochet, remember that we pulled up, so we had 2 loops, and then we pulled through the 2 loops. So with a double crochet, we're actually going to start by wrapping around. And if you ever see a symbol for double crochet, it will have a symbol of a wrap. And if you're talking British, that's their treble, because you'll see in just a second there'll be 3 things wrapped around. So we are going to go a front post here, around the post, and then draw it through. There's your 3. That's why they call it a treble, but we still call it a double. Wrap and pull through the first 2, pull through the second 2, and there is your double crochet. Now we're doing this around the post this time. Remember all the different ways we did single crochet? Every one of those works. In fact, we didn't get to all of them. So that we did that around the front. Let's do it around, well, let's do it around the front for a couple, and then we'll do it around the back for a couple, so that you can really see what the difference is. This is assuming that I can hit the hole. Wrap through 2, wrap through 2, wrap, go, let's go down around that post because we're doing the posts, pull it up through 2, through 2. Okay, now I'm going to go for the other 2, going to go in the opposite direction. Yeah, right, I sure am. was so much easier when we were using the other color yarn. Like, oh, we're going back to the other color yarn, which means we're almost out of this yarn. Through two, wrap, come in from the back, wrap through two, wrap through two. Now I'm hoping that this is going to show up for you. When I was doing the front post, it turned the top of the previous row that way. Where I did the back post, it turned the top of the previous row to the other side. This, you can see that it's not turned over here, those first three. They're on this side. But over here, you can see them. That's the direction it turned them. This allows you to have this alternating appearance so that you can do a rib stitch with it, and it's nice and stretchy. And that's important for what we're going to do in just a little while. So I would like it very much if you would practice making little things. You can make a little square of each of those styles. And I want to do one more thing. You can do this with singles, doubles, trebles. Let me show you a treble real quick. And you can play with that too, because you can play with everything. And you can make double trebles just by wrapping more. So to make a treble, you're going to wrap twice. You're going to go down. We'll just go through the top. Don't go into this one because you're coming out of that one. Go into this one. Okay. Pull up through two, through two, through two. Thus you have a treble. And that, if you see a chart, it will be 2 crosses because you're wrapping twice. Okay. Through two, through two, through two. Through two, through two, through two. There are some wonderful patterns that use every one of these stitches. There are patterns that use half doubles. And let me show you a half double or a half treble. Let's go with half double because you see those more often. 1, 2, we'll chain up. You're going to wrap. And remember the double? You wrapped once. It has a line on it. And you go through. We're going to go under those first 2 and just go through that hole right there. So we've gone through the hole. We're bringing it up. So you have 3 on the hook, just like you would with a double. But you're going to take that, and instead of pulling through two, you're going to take it all through at once. So it looks like a gigantic single crochet with a wrap stuck in the middle. So you wrap, you go down through the next stitch, pull it up, wrap, and pull it through all of them. Wrap, down to the next stitch, missed. Changed my angle. Pull it up, wrap, and pull it through all of them. Wrap, down through the next stitch, pull it up, wrap, and go through all of them. Wrap, go through the top of the next stitch. Oops, I only got 1 of them. Let me get 2 of them here. You can do it with just 1 of them, but 2 on this particular part is going to look a little tidier for some unknown reason, because you're going to still have 1 left. Okay, go through those 2. See, you still have 1 left, but 1 on the inside doesn't look as untidy as 1 on the outside. Okay. So now those are your half doubles. Half trebles are the same thing. You go through one of the stitches and then you go through all the rest. Now I wanted to show you one more different type of thing that you can do with the various stitches, and it's called a long stitch or an extended. Well, extended usually means chain a few on top like the extended single, and you can extend your doubles and you can extend your trebles, but this is called a long stitch. And so I'm going to do it as a double. Okay, so I'm going to take that stitch. You can do it as a single. Singles can be very dramatic. There's a pattern called Apache Tears that is just so fun to look at if it's done. Now, with an extended one, instead of going into the stitch on this row or around the stitch on this row, you're going to go down here and extend this down. If you want to do something that's really cool, you can start by going around this one and pulling it through. The next one, go down the next row and make it even longer. I'm not sure how well this yarn's going to show up for this, and I apologize. Then on this row, make it nice and loose and go clear down here. Make sure you're making it loose. Can you see how loose that is? 2. In the next row, let's come back up. We could keep going down further and make a wedge. That's not unusual. That's a sort of a standard pattern. But let's come up instead. Back up here. And then on this stitch, we'll go back in here. Through 2, assuming I can find 2 there. Okay, so how well does that show up for you? Not very, but if you can see, it's have a shorter one, a longer one, an even longer one, then back to a shorter, and then a really short one. This yarn is not ideal. A lot of people do this with a different color. This row would be a different color so that it stands out, because that's the whole point. Unless you're just going for texture, the whole point is to show off the pattern, which is kind of cool on top. You kind of technically, you know, you really want this to show up as another row, but you're going down in front of that, and you've got 2 rows here. You've got to be careful with that. There are ways of dealing with that, but just play with it. The whole point I want is for you to play. So I'm going to pull all this out, and I'm going to show you one more thing, just one, because I want to get you ready for the next video. Oh, maybe not. You play, because the next video, I'm going to do the video that I was going to do last summer, and it's going to be a little bit of a crochet along. We're going to make hats, and we're going to start with a basic hat that I've been making for almost 40 years. I don't know how I came up with it. I was just playing around. It's wonderful to play around. You can do all sorts of things playing around. So just play around. Find out what you can do. But then if you want to come back for the next one, we'll start a hat, and we'll do it in stages. Give you time to finish a stage, and then we'll do the next stage. And then we will do the crochet along one. this is going to be a fun one because it's going to be a new design. It's not a design that I've used over and over or a variation on that design. This is going to be a new design. So I hope you'll join us for that. So in the meantime, play around. Hit that like button for us. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell and have fun, unwind, enjoy, and we'll see you back. Bye-bye.